Thanks, Dan. It was a vote of 12 to 9. The Delaware State Senate voted to make possession of marijuana below 2 ounces a civil crime punishable by just $100. Our Sussex County Bureau Chief Evan Kozlov joins us now at Legislative Hall in Dover. And Evan, the governor says he will sign this bill tonight.
Good evening. And yeah, it did pass, but not before a few people voiced their opposition. And as you might imagine, there were some theatrics. One senator raised up an ounce of oregano, saying that this couldn't possibly be for personal use. But in the end, the Senate did vote for approval. Just ask people here in Delaware and you'll see they're pretty split on decriminalizing marijuana. What do you think? Should it be decriminalized?
Absolutely. Certainly less harmful than a lot of the so-called drugs that are already approved.
Drugs are drugs. What it does to families, to individuals, to their lives, to everybody around them.
I don't really consider it, if you want to talk about like drugs, I don't really consider it as like a hardcore drug.
I think it should go to jail. There's no two ways around it.
Clearly a lot of debate amongst residents, and it's the same debate here at Legg Hall. The Delaware Senate heard the bill on Thursday following House approval earlier this month. The bill would decriminalize possession and personal use of up to 1 ounce of marijuana. And advocates from both sides have been vocal.
We think 1 ounce is just far too much.
Chief of Camden Police and chairman of the Delaware Police Chief Council, William Bryson, says he has a multitude of concerns. He fears more would get behind the wheel intoxicated if it's decriminalized. Beyond that, he says the designation of 1 ounce as a small quantity is flawed.
We think that is way too much. It's more than what would be used normally for personal use. If they want to take more than 1 ounce, if there's 2 people, they can each have an ounce.
It has a hugely discriminatory effect.
But for others like defense attorney Edward Gill in Georgetown, he says it's a civil rights issue because it impacts minorities at a disproportional level. He also says there's an economic cost.
We're also paying as taxpayers. Every one of us, we're paying $20,000, $30,000 per year to go ahead and house these people in jail. And they're not paying any taxes whatsoever. They're not out there being a productive member of society.
The race for a bill before the session goes up in smoke. All right, now as we speak, the governor is actually inside Legislative Hall to sign that bill. That means the law is expected to come into effect in December. Reporting live here in Kent County, this is Evan Kozlov, WBOC News in Dover.
According to the marijuana advocacy group NORML, there are currently 18 other states and districts that have decriminalized the possession of small amounts of marijuana. In Maryland, possession of less than 10 grams has been decriminalized, punishable by a maximum fine of $100. In Washington, D.C., there's no punishment, criminal or civil, for possession below 2 ounces.